Okay, now all right. Another exciting day here, ladies and gentlemen, in the town of Tinsel. Welcome to the town of Tinsel. I live in California. This is crazy. I live in California. I gotta keep reminding myself this. This is actually truly happening. I live in California. I've been thinking I need to make more use, please hold me accountable to this, of my surroundings. There are coffee shops nearby that I've gone in and out of, but not actually hung out at. I could totally type up stuff, do stuff while I'm there. Yikes. That'd be a perfect place to do kapow. Shenanigans. Perfect place for me to get podcasts, right? Go there for an hour. Once a week. Wow. So much good stuff happening around these parts. Round here. Those counting. I live in a haunted manor, haunted by barking ghost dogs.
He's quiet. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Especially if you come home at 3 a.m., you're just like, you're so tired. You're fumbling with things. Keys are jangling, and all of a sudden that dog starts yapping. Just makes me want to say, hey dog, quit that yapping.
Hey dog.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit, Jen. I love you. Oh yeah, I forgot we were recording here. So, my last podcast that was going on, it cut off while I was talking. Something very interesting with Anchor number 3, version 3. If any of you are having some similar issues about this Anchor version 3, please let me know. I emailed I've had a pretty good discussion going on ever since I joined Anchor about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that. So they get back to me pretty quick. So I talked to them about this interesting issue now, where those of you who got Anchor, you know what I'm talking about. You hit, I don't know if this happens for you, but I'll press play on the little red button, and it'll wait about 5, 6, sometimes 10 seconds. I got so used to the instantaneous. I think what I got used to was pushing my finger on the button and then sliding it up, and that seemed to work really, really well. And I got spoiled with that, and so now it's taking a few seconds in between each thing. And it's, especially, let's say, within segments, I'm creating these segments, and then it'll take a few seconds to actually scroll up. Some of you might be experiencing it, some of you might not be. If you are, please let me know. And what I noticed was I pressed record on it to record, and so that last little segment that you had heard it just ended up only getting a portion of it, which is interesting. Quite interesting. So, now we're back to this. The good news is that as a video diary, video journal, this really actually ends up becoming, even if it doesn't capture everything, it's capturing a lot. And that's good. I like the idea that it's capturing a lot. I cannot tell you how therapeutic this is to be able to speak out loud. Because I know, what's so interesting, it's like, I know that whatever I'm saying on this podcast, every once in a while it reminds me of it. Of the fact that I'm accountable to what I'm saying in here. I'm accountable. So there are those times I forget, and I go, oh, I just complained that whole podcast. I just complained. Who do I think I am? Dr. Amp? Listen, folks, all I ever really wanted for this Inspirado Projecto podcast was become the next Dr. Amp. Those of you who do not yet know who Dr. Amp is, please do yourselves a favor and myself a favor, all of us a favor, and look up Dr. Amp on YouTube. I think you'll dig it. There's a man walking down the street right now who kind of resembles Dr. Amp carrying his groceries. So maybe that's why I thought of Dr. Amp. Maybe. You never know. Subliminally speaking, you never know. You never can tell. You never can tell. You never, that's the fun thing is that since we all know that the universe speaks to us in all these different various forms, camouflages, etc., shape shifts, because we all know that, it just makes it much more fun, playful, and interesting to kind of look at the symbols, the omens, the signs, all that razzmatazz. Look at that and go, okay, this relates to this. Okay, this relates to this. Okay, this relates to this. And when we see that recognition with the vibration of that particular sentiment, of that thought, that feeling about that particular manifestation of reality, when we recognize that within the various camouflages, it's showing us, yeah, that's it. That's the same vibe. That's the same vibe. You recognize, yep, that's the channel. That's the channel right there. And it just keeps happening more and more frequently. More and more frequently. It's easy to, like with the discussions with Mike Schlee, we've heard, we hear about all this crazy stuff going on, and we see all these prophecies, all this stuff. We hear about the Bible code, how it could be changed, rewritten, all that razzmatazz. Okay, so we hear about all that stuff. Book of Revelations in the Bible, etc., all this stuff. All these psychic premonitions, predictions, prophecies, discoveries, revelations, epiphanies, etc., and so forth, particularly the so forth. We look at all that stuff, and then we match it up with the idea of the quantum mechanics aspect. We match it up with the idea of manifesting our own realities. So which one is the one that's the most imperative? I would say the one that transcends all the limited human thoughts and imperfections and that pettiness, the nickel and diming. It transcends all that. Once we realize that we're those creators, all this is an illusion. We don't have to take any of this seriously because someone demands that we take them seriously. That doesn't mean that we have to. That's what they want us to conform to, what they believe their identity or their definition of themselves is. We don't have to do that. No one is required to do that. If a man in a three-piece suit goes out to the jungle, the gorilla would yank his arms out just like he would any other, enemy or prey or what have you. And it's interesting because that same three-piece suit guy at a charity or, big rich ball gala, he would be this upstanding citizen. Oh, look at my awards, look at my plaques, look at my, diplomas, etc., what have you. And look at my badges, my, etc. So in one particular circle, people might look at it, and I'm looking for a basket to carry something in. Huh. Interesting. Let's see. Interesting. So, what's so interesting is doing podcasts while you're walking around a grocery store, because There are multiple things that you're trying to do at once. Number one, stay on the subject of what you're saying. Number two, look for the basket. Should I just go ahead and get a shopping cart? It's a little silly because, see, these are the dilemmas. These are the dilemmas. I'm saying this out loud to you. Perhaps this is something you yourself would be thinking about. If you were here right now, perhaps you'd be imagining to yourself, where are the baskets? Where are the best places to look for the baskets? You might be asking yourself, should I use a shopping cart? Should I use a shopping cart? We'll talk more about this later. There's just so much happening right now. So much. So earlier on, Jenny and I heard some a ruckus next door with these guys yelling at each other, and it sounded like they were about to get into a fight, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and apparently people had just called the cops over it. So that's what that was. That was the cops at the next door neighbor's door asking them about what was going on. With what all the hubbub was about. And, sheesh. So there you have it. You never know what kind of adventures will pop up into your own reality experience now and again.
So the people were spiritual, psychological, and wooden. And that is to say, the wooden people were those most absorbed in materiality and most closely identified with their bodies. And Orthodox Christianity rejected this sort of distinction because of the perfectly correct idea that material existence is not inconsistent with spirituality. This is something which most Christians have forgotten. But they do believe as the central principle of Christianity in what's called the incarnation. That in the Jesus of Nazareth, Almighty God did in fact become material, become human. And by this process initiated a transformation of the cosmos. In the words of Saint Athanasius, God became man that man might become God.
And so, did you grow up out in this area?
I'm actually from St. Louis, Missouri, but I lived in LA for probably 18 years.
And what would you say brought you out here?
I'm a journalist,
Oh, okay.
and I've just kind of done it ever since.
What are some of your favorite things to journalize?
I cover entertainment.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it's a way to make a living, and then money never seems to go away in that area.
Do you cover bands too?
A little bit. What's your favorite band?
Well, I'm in a yacht rock band called Yachtly Crew.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and we've gotten like a lot of steam, a lot of momentum so far. And even the 311 cruise, they hired us to be on the 311 cruise next year.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy. Mario Lopez has come to our shows and then hired us for his holiday party, and then Red Foo from LMFAO, he hired us for his girlfriend's birthday, and it's like, it's crazy the way this momentum is picking up. And it's all love songs, Hall & Oates, Christopher Cross, just good old-fashioned love songs. And so basically we play every other month at the Viper Room, and every once in a while out in Dana Point at Stillwater, every once in a while at the Rose, sometimes at the Canyon. I mean, it's so much fun. So
how'd you hook up with 311 crew?
oh, you know what? The guy, our guitarist, he actually plays basketball with one of the members of 311.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and so some of the guys at his basketball game came out to see us play, and they were showing the videos, and he's like, "Oh wow, talk to my manager about getting on the cruise." And like things are just, and we might even play on the Kiss cruise too.
Oh, nice.
Which we ended up finding out. I mean, this is like, it's just crazy, man. The way this stuff has evolved.
When you're growing up, did you ever think you'd be playing with Kiss?
Oh my God, that would just be nuts. Because a lot of the guys in the band, they're big fans of Kiss.
Yeah.
And so we would always joke about the idea that we're basically like the yacht rock version of Kiss. So we're kind of like, we try to put showmanship into it as much as we can.
So the yacht rock is sort of like a softish party rock.
Oh yes. Oh man, people show up wearing captain's hats, and people have met on the dance floor and they end up dating and then seeing each other again at other shows. It's crazy.
It's a fun party environment.
Oh.
It's like, did you guys do Jimmy Bucket?
You know what? We need to. I think we need to, for sure. We do the Pina Colada song, Escape. We do Baker Street, Careless Whisper. Oh man, all the really anthemic ones, Fooled around and fell in love. Oh geez. There's so many good ones. It's like, I don't have a favorite one. It's so crazy. There's 7 of us in it. There's a saxophone player.
Oh, nice. 7-man band.
Oh my God. It's so tricky too to try to fit us on stages.
All right, brother, how we going?
All right, man. Take care. And what you just heard there, ladies and gentlemen, was another seed planting. 31 minutes. What you just heard there was another seed planting of Yali Crew. I didn't have any cards with me that time. I guess I didn't expect to talk about Yali Crew. I think that's the thing that I need to realize, that no matter where you go at any time, you just never know what kind of interesting revelations are hanging out around the corner. Keep that in mind, Bucko. Yali Crew, man. Yali Crew, keep it in your brain. Oh, you know what's going to happen too? This is what I predict. This is what I predict. I predict that someone is going to mention Yali Crew to him at some point. At some point, someone is going to mention Yali Crew to him. And he's going to go, oh my God, that guy, the guy was just talking in the laundry room.
I was listening to your idea about the magician getting pulled into his own hat. And that's about where you got, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool as if on the other side there was a rabbit magician who pulled him out of a hat. And then I thought, well, I'll call his podcast and leave a message with that in addition to idea. And before I could even do so, you said it. You said, oh, what if a rabbit pulled him out of the hat on the other side? We're on the same wavelengths. There's we're surfing the same wave, my friend. Surfing the same wave.
I was just thinking about how in any moment we're choosing. I was just walking down the street and I noticed that I had a frown on my face. A furrowed brow. Even my mouth was turned at the corners, and I'm going, this is very cartoon-like. Why is my face like this? And then I started thinking, holy cow, do I have a lot on my mind? Yeah. And then, for some reason, I think of that face when I think of, like, whoa, there's a lot to do. So I started thinking in that moment, well, a couple of things. One of them was that I felt I wasn't relying on my higher mind enough in that moment. Sometimes I forget, this ego mind forgets that this ego mind is not the one that's required, not supposed to figure everything out, figure out how the plan's going to go. Figure out how it's all unfolding. I am the one who's setting up his own surprise party. Is that interesting? I'm the one setting up my own surprise party with things that I want. That's the interesting thing. So getting back into that idea of realizing that the ground is basically forming apostrophe neath my feet. The ground is forming neath my feet. The precipitation, if I am to play with that idea, that precipitation, that what my attitude is, it brings about. The attitude brings it about. Now, if I want to believe that a higher mind can take care of this, what happens then? No more furrowed brow. Why was there a furrowed brow? Was it squashed under the weight? It was feeling the weight of it. What's the furrowed brow? I just realized I'm squinching up my third eye. I'm closing it up. That's in a sense trying to wink, tightly squeeze my third eyeball, like, shut it off. That third eye needs to be in working condition. That's the connection to the all that is, to that higher mind. So it's a very egotistical thing to do, to believe that we ourselves can solve every issue, because we know how many times we've planned something and how many times it's ended up differently. How did we feel in those instances where it took a curve where we expected? Did we, however, find similarities in how it unfolded? Did we find similarities that did match up, however, even a few, with the original intent? Or did you feel that the final product contained none of what you originally intended? Or very close, very, very far away from the original vision? Now, the next question is, was there a lot of second guessing, triple guessing? Was there a lot of triple thinking about getting that project done? Was there a lot of holding back on decision making? Was there a lot of hemming and hawing? Was there a lot of head honchos, some arrogant minds trying to take control of the wheel? Did it feel like it was forced along the way? Did it feel like there's a lot of pressure involved with the unfolding of that process? If any of those answers are yes, there's a good chance that that's why it really ended up far, far away from that original vision. maybe because there was so tight. But with the like that stress on that, oh gosh, it's got to be this way. But the crazy thing is that with all the decision makings and changes along the way, it's like it kept in a sense reprogramming the computer, because there's that idea, that original inspiration of moving forward, and then there's that next aspect of going, well, is that the right direction? Because now there's that second thought on distrusting the original inspiration. And then what happens is that now becomes the default mode with enough of that going on. With enough of that being a reliant material, a foundation on which to stand, sit, lay down on, for that to be the main standard issue, where default mode, where you're going boo, 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 antenna, blipping on the antenna, ooh, I got an idea, here's an idea, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, all right, let's move forward. And then they bring it up to someone who is usually a naysayer, usually someone who's a killjoy, usually who's got something to say about it straight out of the gate, and not very keen on the all the value that is found when it's a collaborative experience, when it's a all for one and one for all, when it's we're all creating the same vision here. I'm about to go down to the subway here. I'll talk more later. Going out to Ryan's today. We've got a bunch of those files, those Kapow files that we got to start downloading on to these. So we got all the films together for the film festival. All right, I shall talk more later. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ryan McGonagle here. He's about to get in the car. He just filled up his gas. So, Ryan, explain to the at-home viewers what we're doing right now.
We are driving out of an AM/PM, getting gas so we can make a Best Buy run.
And what are we getting at Best Buy?
We can get some Blu-rays to help start burning some movies for 2018 Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival, because we are really behind on schedule.
Oh yeah.
So we're very consistent as compared to the last couple years. We don't start sooner. We just put more work on our plate. So in a way, I guess we're accomplishing more.
It's right. So, what's the fastest speed internet that you have that we're using today?
Man, I don't know. It's whatever the business high speed is, the most expensive one you could buy in Time Warner. When we cut the cable, I was able to justify having just internet. So we're the fastest you can go that Time Warner will allow. And so far we're making really good time. You've noticed the difference, right?
I've noticed a big difference. At home it would take me all day to download a 20-minute, probably 4 gigabyte thing. And what I'm noticing at your place, both of us can actually be on the internet.
Right.
And I'm noticing that we're both downloading big files at the same time, which is awesome.
Well, also we have a dual router, which allows, it's like 2 routers going at the same time. And so that's part of the reason we're going so fast. Last year we didn't have this problem. Everything was like going rather smoothly. This year I don't know why. Maybe because we're getting bigger films or something, but it's taken a lot more. I know we got a lot more films than we've ever had, so which is cool. More filmmakers. And
I realize, I think there's a theory that just popped in my brain. I think now with this ability to have cameras, a lot less expensive, a lot more affordable in this 4K format. Maybe more people are shooting stuff in this 4K, which then that bumps up the resolution huge.
Like last year we did we got a GoPro movie. The whole movie was done on a GoPro. I forget which one it was. Something in the Philippines. I'm surprised we haven't got, unless I missed it, an iPhone movie yet, because I know a lot of filmmakers are making their movie completely on an iPhone. And
Oh yeah.
for like $125, you can actually get lenses that swap out. And for like, people are making feature-length films with like 2 iPhone X's, which is pretty cool, or iPhone 10, whatever you want to call it. But that'd be kind of a fun project, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you go to the Apple store, they actually have stuff that you can like use. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you see Sandeep's little film that he shot with the drags cars, and he put on Instagram? Yeah, so like drag racing on like the desert flats.
Wow.
Salt Lake Flats.
How
whatever.
many minutes is it that he did?
It's like less than a minute, but he did a little fancy editing. I was impressed.
So did he edit it on his phone too?
No, he does everything off of Final Cut Pro, like we do. One year we'll probably catch up with the rest of the industry and start going off of Avid. We're always like a couple steps behind when it comes to we were like going with the DSLR like 3 years after everyone else was. And
Yeah. It's interesting how those film cameras, the only way you could shoot with them is if you rented them. What was that? What do they call them? Panavision?
yeah, in the film, right? You had to buy the
Yeah.
film, and that was like one of the biggest costs.
My goodness. That was the biggest roadblock to me growing up, looking at movies and going, whoa, you need like so much money to make a movie, and
Well, just think about the editors on how much harder they had to work.
holy cow. Yeah, because they're cutting it. They're
literally cutting
taping it together.
Right.
What I still can't seem to wrap my brain around is how they would do those dissolves, how they would do those special effects with film.
Mm-hmm.
That always confounded me.
I don't know. That'd be interesting to look on YouTube, because when in doubt, you just go to YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube will tell you everything. There's a guy on YouTube I watch, and he takes challenges. So, like, if you got, like, really shitty footage of something, and you don't have enough coverage, he actually takes it as a challenge, and he'll figure out how to use this really shitty footage. He does it a lot with, like, wedding videos and stuff.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
It's a lot of the special effects with Premiere, like the dissolves and the film filters and overexposed things. He makes it look like dreamy. It's pretty cool, the stuff you can do. I gotta start shooting more so I could play around with some stuff.
You've got that cool camera. And you got the green screen. And
Right.
you got the editing equipment now. And
Buy some new audio stuff. That's like my next on what to buy. And then we can start making legitimate, like, no budget films.
absolutely. We got to get up there to Horse Thief Canyon, shoot some stuff around there.
Right. Now, you read about Horse Thief Canyon, right? You know the story?
I know it's supposed to be haunted. I don't know the full history of it. Were you saying it was like an Indian burial ground or something?
No, what it was is when these horse thieves would steal horses, they would try to cut across this canyon to get to, like, Mexico or something. And that's where they would catch them, in this canyon. But they wouldn't drag them back. They would just hang them right there. So for
Oh, God.
years, these horse thieves were just hanging from trees, like rotting and dying, dead,
Oh, God.
rotting, and there'd be skeletons, and so there's like a lot of possibilities from some
Oh,
serious
boy.
paranormal
Oof.
activities.
Holy cow.
And then I guess even deeper, like every urban legend location has like another urban legend location. But there's like supposed to be like a pretty big like meth house out there that don't want you anywhere near it. So if they see you, they're going to take care of you. And you're out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Oh my God.
From what I understand, you can go about 3 to 5 miles, like round trip. And when you get to like this treehouse thing, that's when things start getting a little shady.
Whoa.
And some people make it even all as far to the meth house. But that would be kind of a cool little documentary to go up there and just talk about what we find.
Yeah. What? So it's not in. I'm imagining it's the woods. Is it? It's not in the woods.
The woods. There's a waterfall.
Oh, there's a waterfall.
Yeah,
That's
but
great.
it's dried up now. You have to go certain times of year where it's weird. It just pops out of nowhere because there's pictures, like people that take pictures of it go, oh, the waterfall wasn't theirs, so they couldn't find what they're looking for. And then there's other times people can't get beyond the waterfall and the stream.
Oh, geez.
So I'm kind of thinking, I'm trying to look around a little bit after we get this Kapow Black Pumpkin thing, like what we can do to plan it correctly, because it would be nice. We have some amazing actress friends that could partake in this, and I'm sure they would want to, because you know how much these actors want to be in front of the camera.
Man. Especially if you I just realized that when you got locations for free, and with this day and age we can be very guerrilla with how you shoot stuff.
And there's always ways around stuff. Like, we stole shots for Black Pumpkin. We stole a lot of shots for Black Pumpkin. We were supposed to have permits for the security footage stuff, all the stuff at the outside of the Alex loft we were supposed to have. The only thing we really had permits for was Shada's house and the school.
Wow. So are we over here? Is this Dos Lagos?
No, this is the crossing in Corona.
Oh.
This has like this is kind of like our mall. A lot of fun stuff here. Barnes & Noble, like one of the rare bookstores that are still flourishing is this Barnes & Noble. They're going out of business, but this Barnes & Noble does so well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like what works in what areas and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Amazon putting everyone out of business. Because we're all too fat and lazy to go to the store.
Well, then I was reading somewhere that I guess Amazon is going to start making stores that...
They're buying up old Toys R Us locations because they have to actually start having brick and mortar stores, what we call it. And so I guess because they feel responsible for driving Toys R Us out of business, they're going to do kind of like a toy store, Amazon style. Okay, let's go buy some shit.
All right. All right. Interesting. This Anchor app is so intriguing. So Ryan McGonagle and I just spent a good amount of time.
For your safety and security, please keep all your personal belongings with you at all times.
So Ryan and I spent the past couple of days all day long. He's got a faster internet connection speed than I do. Spent all day downloading pretty fast, like gigabytes and gigabytes of data onto his hard drive. And we got 80 films out of 140, I think, downloaded.
mantenga todas sus pertenencias personales
So-
con usted todo el tiempo.
It's just a series of, especially if they send you a zip file, you gotta find where you wanna save that, unzip it, and then save all that stuff somewhere else or somehow else. It's really interesting. We have a guy named Tim Burton, a guy named Derek, who operates the timburton.com site. He also is responsible for being the curator for the Tim Burton Museum of Contemporary Art exhibit. He's kind of in charge of that stuff. It's really neat. It's really cool to think that we're getting these kinds of folks sending their stuff in. We have some Blu-rays coming in the mail, which we'll be receiving ideally within the next few days. Wow. It's crazy to think that today's the, 16th, 12th, 13th, something like that. And it starts in, a little over 2 weeks. I shall make it my duty to record as much as I can during that time for these filmmakers. So keep your ears open. Also, if you are a filmmaker and you happen to make it out to Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival, September 28th until October 4th, if you are someone who entered a movie and you're going to be there to watch it screen, or if you're going to be someone who's just coming by, you love watching independent films, you want to see what kind of cool projects have been created across the globe. We've got people from all over the place. Romania, all over the place. Korea, all over the place. So, all over the place. So, it's going to be fun. Wouldn't it be awesome if Ted Raimi stopped by again this year?
Metrolink will operate train service to Los Angeles Rams game at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on Sunday, September 16, 2018. For more information, please visit www.metrolinktrains.com/football.
All right, folks. I think that's a pretty good note to go out on. Check out Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival if you can. We're going to be doing the Bloody Bobby and Black Pumpkin screening on the 29th, 12 o'clock p.m. So we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Keep that in mind.